Hi guys, got me coffee. In case you haven't joined us this morning, we did do a live walk on keto, just chatting about Princess, our lovely dog that we lost, and a few other things to do with my daughter and how we found Princess, bought her, and her puppies and stuff like that. So if you want to watch that, guys, on the keto channel, Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, our other channel, which also discusses our health and our diet. So I also this morning did a short clip discussing a news clip that I found on Nessa's Facebook page. Nessa, she has a Facebook page that defends Elvis Presley. Her name is Nessa. Please follow Nessa. A lot of great defending. So the other thing I was going to say was I want to just let a few people know that we're live. So I thought what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this morning's video, some of it, whilst I quickly let as many people as I can know that we're live. Okay. So sorry if I've had to make anyone wait. Let's just see who's on. So we got, okay. So thank you everyone for joining me. I've got a few topics I want to do, but today we're having a bit of a Priscilla day. There's other things I want to do. I've been having a chat with Karen a little bit about Elvis's health, his prescription medication, obviously the health problems Elvis had. You know, I would always say that Elvis dying at 42, there was a mixture of reasons, and the prescription medication was part of it. I don't think it was just health problems that made Elvis die younger. There was a mixture of things, but that's not for today's topic, guys. But I know Karen has sent me a great book. Karen is doing some research, trying to understand. Karen said she's just ordered a medical book. She's trying to make sense of it all. And hopefully Karen is going to give us some info, and we're going to try and understand it on a different day, a different live stream. You know me, I won't read a whole book. It's not going to happen. I tend to read the bits that I think are good. So I'm going to press play on this video. Let's get YouTube up. And whilst it's playing, I am gonna, let's have a look. Let's get to my, where are we? Whilst it's playing, I'm going to quickly let a few people know that we're live. You'll get a sort of understanding for the topic. Now, as I keep saying, when I defend and expose Priscilla's wrongdoing, I don't do it with hate. I don't hate Priscilla. We are trying to understand why she did so many bad things to Elvis, why she was so unfair to Elvis, why she betrayed Elvis, why she spent her life acting like a poor victim, a caged animal. I'm not happy with it. So I want to defend Elvis. I want to show people. So I'm going to read that she was not a caged animal. So we do our best to expose. So I'm gonna press play here, let people know that we're live, and then we're gonna discuss it properly on a live stream, because we haven't done a live on this yet. So let's just press play. We don't do it with hate. There's no hate here. I don't hate Priscilla. I wish she would apologize for all the lies that she has told concerning Elvis. In my opinion, just an opinion, guys. I can't say it's fact. This is a discussion type YouTube channel called Defending Elvis, where we debate and talk through different versions of events, and we try and defend Elvis as best we can. So I'm going to read this to you. I'm not going to critique it. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to come back with a part two. Part two, we're going to critique it. Part three, we're going to go live and discuss it. Okay, guys? I want to try and do this before the kids come down. So morning, I've got myself a coffee. So wherever you are in the world, good morning. Get yourself a coffee. Hope you had a good night's sleep. a lot of what we do gets watched in the middle of the night because of the different time zones. Anyway, here goes, guys. Marriage to Elvis was like being caged, and says ex-wife Priscilla. I mean, obviously, that infuriates me, and
let me just get my
I find that shocking. Yeah, I can't quite read the date, November the 9th, 1970. It could be 75 or 78. Just very cruel. Just very cruel. Horrible headline. Yeah. Again, that makes Elvis look bad. This is why we defend Elvis. Elvis didn't deserve a headline like that. May Mann is one of Hollywood's best-known columnists. All right, I need a coffee to wake up. Her book, Elvis and the Colonel, was written after hours of exclusive interviews with Presley, his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, and his ex-wife, Priscilla. I haven't read this book, actually, Elvis and the Colonel, and it actually says here that Priscilla and Colonel Tom Parker were in this, helped write this book. Is that right? Had interviews done that went into this book. I didn't know that, guys. I definitely haven't read this book. Let's keep going. In the spring of 1974, I received a handwritten invitation from Priscilla Presley. She had opened a boutique shop, Bis and Beau, in Beverly Hills, and she was celebrating with a champagne party. Now, I've got the Bis and Beau book. I haven't had time to go through it, but I do intend to read some parts of it to you guys. Priscilla Presley enters into business with her partner, probably with the help of Elvis's money, I would say. Probably all of it was with Elvis's money. Anyway, I'm not going to critique too much because I want to do that in part 2. Okay. While I had not met Priscilla in person, I had glimpsed her in Las Vegas and Beverly Hills. She was one of the most beautiful girls I had ever seen. I mean, we're not going to get away from that, are we, guys? Priscilla in her prime was a very stunning, beautiful lady in the 70s, yeah? Maybe this is part of her trick, using her beauty to get her way. What do you think, guys? While I had not met Priscilla in person, she was also intelligent and a perfectionist with many talents and the drive to accomplish whatever she wants to do. I definitely agree that she had a lot of drive. Yeah, this is a very ambitious young lady. And maybe Elvis didn't know that. On the day of the party, I came down with the flu. A few weeks later, I called her and made a date for an interview. Priscilla in person is more beautiful than her photographs. She has a Dresden doll quality with a flawless complexion and natural look. With her fresh scrubbed face, large blue eyes, slight figure, and long, pale red-brown hair. Elvis, come on, Elvis was taken by her beauty. I think a lot of people were, yeah? Elvis and I, she told me, would always be good friends and close friends because we loved each other. We're going to discuss this, but I think the second divorce settlement that she promised she was never going to do ruined any chance of them having a proper friendship. I really believe that. But we'll talk about the second divorce settlement later. Then why? Let's have a look. Elvis and I, she told me, will always be good and close friends. We love each other. It's complicated, guys. I think Elvis did love the mother of his child, the mother of Lisa Marie. I think there was a love there, but the love had changed. Yeah. So then why did Elvis and her divorce? I just couldn't go on the way it was any longer. Priscilla said, I had to get out and be free and do things. I finally realized that things would never change in our way of life. It's the usual thing. She felt like a prisoner. She felt like a prisoner, which there's no way Priscilla was a prisoner. She had all the freedom she ever wanted. Her own car, could do anything she wanted. Anyone could visit, friends and family visiting. She was having a very good time. Plenty of freedom. So don't ever believe this bullshit that she was a caged person. It's just a complete unfair narrative to Elvis. Elvis was so good to her. He gave her whatever she wanted. She could do whatever she wanted. So Elvis and I, she told me, would always be good friends and close friends because we loved each other. Then why did she and Elvis divorce? I just couldn't go on the way it is any longer. Priscilla said I had to go out and be free and do things. I finally realized that the way things would never change in our way of life. I had been alone too long. She wasn't alone, guys. She was surrounded by lots of people, friends and family. It was too lonely. Could you imagine saying you feel alone at Gracelands? There was dozens and dozens of people at Gracelands. Her family could come and go as they felt. I kept hoping our lives would be different, and then I realized it would always be this way. I had to live. I had to live too, to express myself. I have some identity as a person. I felt caged. I felt caged. She wasn't caged, guys. She wasn't. It really bugged me. Yeah, Elvis would go away working a lot. I accept that. But I also accept we don't really know what was going on when Elvis would go to the movie sets in the 60s. Priscilla did move over knowing what Elvis was like, not as his girlfriend. She moved over hoping to be his girlfriend, hoping to settle down with him. The relationship slowly evolved, where eventually they get engaged in 1966 in December. So it wasn't straightforward, guys. Elvis was clearly seeing other people, even in 1959 and 1960, 61, 62. Eventually she visits a few times. He still is living as a single man. It wasn't. So guys, I'm going to let this keep playing because it sort of says the things I want to say, but then I want you guys to comment as it's going. The point of it being live now is that we can sort of comment on it. Yeah, I think Pat mentioned Rhonda's video. I want to review Rhonda's video. I was going to do it after this if I've got time. We were going to do a part 2 and review Rhonda's video because I think it was quite important. Obviously, it's concerning Bridget Cruz and Priscilla, and there's an update. I thought it was a really good video from Rhonda. Quite complicated, quite hard to understand, but at the same time, I think we should discuss it on our live stream. So that is going to happen after this this live stream. It wasn't until Elvis got engaged where he committed. I really feel that, yeah. Which must have been tough on Priscilla. We'll give her that. It must have been tough. With living with a man that you hoped would be your partner one day. Yeah, I get that. I want to be fair. So I had to Priscilla had known during those 6 years before their marriage all about Elvis and his way of life. There we go. That's my point. She had lived in Memphis. She knew he was constantly surrounded with people with demands and pressures. There was no assurance it would change. And don't forget the life that Priscilla had before she moved over. She was in Germany, living in a very normal house with her parents. Yeah, there's no comparison to the life she had when she went to Gracelands. Yeah, completely different world. So she was very lucky. She was very lucky. It was amazing what happened to her. She could go and eventually live at Gracelands when she. So I'm going to butt in every now and then to that guy called Louis. But guys, the poor caged animal, Priscilla Presley, it's so ridiculous that this person could move from Germany, a very simple existence, living in Germany with her parents, to the crazy, amazing, fantastic world of Elvis Presley at Gracelands. And she talks about it as if she was a caged animal, which is so far from the truth. You know, she talks about being left alone and how lonely she was. But This woman had a very busy life, a very busy life. She was having lots of fun. There's no way this woman was a caged animal. I just find it so cruel to Elvis. So I think this interview was done around 1975. And I'm like, she sits there. Her whole life, everything in Priscilla's life, everything, the money she had, the businesses she had, the benefits she had, the lifestyle she had, the home she lived in, the clothes she wore, the restaurants she ate in. Her life literally was amazing. And she talks about it like she was a caged animal, like she was a victim, like Elvis was this mean, controlling, horrible person. It's just so far from the truth. And she sits there with a smile on her face and does these kind of interviews again and again and again, tricking the public into thinking she suffered, she went through hell, she was a prisoner. Do you know what I mean, guys? There's no way Elvis deserves any of this. This is why we're called Defending Elvis. Elvis does not deserve this bullshit. And, you know, people ask me, oh, why do you talk about Priscilla, blah, blah, blah. This is why. This is why. Because this is the tiny snippet of the damage, the fake news, the fake Elvis news that has gone around the world for decades. And it all started somewhere, guys. All of this trashing of Elvis, it started somewhere. It started with some of the family members, the ex-wife, the Memphis Mafia, and then that, you know, we're talking in the 70s, yeah? And the damage that has gone on to do. And still in 2025, we're trying to pick up the pieces of the damage that has been done by the people that were closest to Elvis. It's heartbreaking, guys. Could you imagine how Elvis would feel? How his image had been wrecked by the people closest to him. Yeah, by Priscilla Presley. Yeah. Who has gone on to have this amazing life? Priscilla Presley went on to have an amazing life. Who else was a victim of all of this? Poor Lisa Marie. We all know the Michael Edwards situation. Yeah. It's just so unfair. So unfair. And Priscilla likes to say that Lisa was happier, didn't notice that Priscilla and Elvis had split up, liked the book Elvis and Me. It's all rubbish, guys. Lisa didn't like the book Elvis and Me. It's bullshit. But Priscilla will proudly say it on an interview that she liked it and read it a few times. It's just rubbish. Priscilla will give the impression that when she moved out of Gracelands, everything was better, even for Lisa. It's just bullshit. Lisa worshipped her father. There's no way that she ever would have been happy living outside of Gracelands, living in a different home than her father, Elvis. It's just, this is the con. And the problem is, so many people believe it. So many people believe it. The bullshit that Priscilla comes out with. So I always say, look, I don't hate Priscilla, but come on, guys. She has spun a web that is so unfair to Elvis. So unfair. She was nearly 18. Priscilla had known during... one day, Priscilla told me Elvis showed me the ring and simply asked me to marry him, even though we were content and we were... As we were at the time, it wasn't nice for people to live together, so we found ourselves suddenly married. Well, that isn't how she talks about it now. That's not how she talks about it now. That Elvis suddenly sprung a ring on me and, oh, well, we married because that was the right thing to do at the time. And she found herself suddenly married. Oh, no, I'm suddenly married. No. So even the wording of this write-up, she says, oh, I found myself suddenly married. Isn't it funny how we hear Elvis when he's talking to Red West on that secretly recorded phone call that should never have been recorded. Red West betrayed Elvis. I know Red West loved him, but he still betrayed him, as many do that were with Elvis through the 50s and 60s and 70s. Red West, that wedding thing, he felt railroaded into a wedding. But now Priscilla is saying it in this news article that's around 1974, 5. I'm not sure exactly what year this is. I can see in that article there's a picture of Mike Stone with Lisa Marie. It's just heartbreaking, guys. It's just so wrong on so many levels. You go back and watch Priscilla's interviews, how she describes the marriage and how Elvis proposed to her and the actual marriage itself. She doesn't speak about it in this way. This is a bit unfair. She makes it sound like a shotgun wedding. I personally think Elvis wasn't ready to get married. I also feel Elvis was pressured to get married, sort of felt like he had no choice. I think Priscilla 100% did want to get married. Yeah. So in that article, she gives the impression, oh, you know, it wasn't really what we wanted, but it was the right thing to do at the time. But that suddenly we found ourselves married. It's just such bullshit. Let's have a look. Priscilla said it was not true that she wanted a career. Well, you know, I don't agree with that. So, for some reason in that article, the question is brought up that it's pretty obvious. The public have twigged on that Priscilla, it was all about Priscilla. Ambition, success, fame, being a movie star, being on TV, being in papers, being in magazines, tabloids, yeah? Being interviewed, owning a business, having a boutique, yeah? Living life, enjoying life. She even in one part of this says she was almost relieved when Lisa Marie was at school so that she could get on with her life, yeah? This woman who pretends that she didn't have any aspirations for being famous, for being like Elvis. She even says at some point she didn't want to have the attention that Elvis got, to live the life Elvis lived. She wanted more of a settled life, a family type life, a calmer life. It's not true. It's not true. Her actions say it all. The way Priscilla lived her life after leaving Elvis says it all. It was all about the money. It was all about the fame, the success. She wanted her freedom. She wanted to go out and party and make money and be a model and be an actress. Yeah? You get it? Be on TV, be in magazines, be in tabloids. She loved the fame. Priscilla loved the fame, loved attention, loved it. Now, just after they split up, she tries to play it down. Oh, I want to live a quiet life. It's just rubbish, guys. Does anyone fall for it? I want to be with my horses. Bullshit. Bullshit. I think Elvis picked up on it. I think Elvis picked up on the fact that secretly Priscilla wanted to be Elvis. Wanted the fame, the success, the money, the freedom, the homes, the cars, the holidays. She wanted it all. She wanted what Elvis had. Even though at such a young age, she had done nothing to earn it, had she? Yeah. So remember, everything I say is for entertainment purposes, just opinions, not facts, just a discussion. This is a discussion channel where we discuss different points of view. Anybody that thinks for a second that Priscilla wasn't starstruck, like when I say starstruck, I mean didn't want. I think she wanted to be Elvis. She wanted to be Elvis, and she couldn't be him. Her way of being him was to leave him, and then obviously the media, the press, around the world, they want a piece of Priscilla because she was Elvis's wife, Elvis's only wife, the mother of Elvis's only child. So everybody wanted a piece of Priscilla to find a way of making money from the name Priscilla Presley, from Priscilla. She was a beautiful woman as well. So we know the truth because we've watched it unfold over 40 years. I turned down many movie offers, she said, and saw the demands on Elvis. So did you hear that? I've turned down many movie offers. There's no way this woman would have had any movie offers if it wasn't for the fact that she was briefly married to Elvis. I wouldn't ever want to live my life like he does. I want to do what I want to do, have freedom. And it's not possible for Elvis. Now, that's a big thing. We're going to have to go into this in detail. I wouldn't ever want to live my life like he does. That's so far from the truth. She went on to spend her whole life acting as if she is Elvis. Yeah, so that is a blatant, barefaced lie, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. Come on, guys. Even now, she's chased down the road by paparazzi, grabbing pictures, sticking pictures in her hands to sign pictures of her and Elvis. Yeah? Seriously, guys. Remember, poor Lisa Marie is gone, her daughter. Lisa Marie, we love her, we miss her. But Priscilla has carried on as if nothing has changed. Seriously, Priscilla has carried on as if nothing has changed. She still craves attention. She still craves the spotlight. She still craves the public adoration. All you have to do is go onto her Instagram and look at her posts. It's all about me, and being famous. She loves being famous. She absolutely loves it. And she's not going to get away with playing it down because it's so obvious. Yeah. Even at 80 years old, after losing her daughter and her grandson. Get it, guys? You get it? I used to make all sorts of plans for birthdays and anniversaries, and sometimes Elvis could make it home. Sometimes he couldn't, but that's understandable. He was a very, very busy man. So that little section there, oh, I was waiting for Elvis, hoping that he would come to, important events that were happening in Lisa Marie's life. But come on, it was Elvis Presley. He was fully booked up. He was very overworked. He was very hardworking. Colonel Tom Parker had everything all booked up and lined up. Elvis had to do his movies, his tours, and many other things, make his albums. So he wasn't going to be a normal father in the normal sense of the word. He wasn't going to make it to every single thing that Lisa did. Isn't that true about all fathers? Yeah, if you're working long hours, you do miss out on some of your children's things that they're doing. You do. It's just part of life. If you are hardworking and you want the nice things in life, like a good home, a nice standard of living, sometimes you're working, pretty normal. But this is put in an interview in a tabloid to make Elvis look like a bad father. The whole point of that comment was basically Elvis is a bad father. A real workaholic, making obviously albums and movies constantly, sometimes 2-3 movies a year. I grew to accept heartbreaks and disappointments, but I kept thinking, we'll make it, we're young, it will work. I just did in every way I could, and I'm sure Elvis did too. See, again, guys, she wasn't doing everything to make it work. She was being unfaithful. I know I won't whitewash Elvis. Elvis made mistakes. He may have been seeing other people. But it isn't straightforward because you have to break down each year and try and understand why Elvis was being unfaithful, what was happening to him in his life when it concerns Priscilla. Yeah? We know about the unfaithfulness with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, and later the unfaithfulness with Mike Stone. But what else was happening? Yeah? What double life was Priscilla living while she was living with Elvis? We don't really know everything that went on. Yeah. So she says, oh, we had to try and make it work, but she's off out being unfaithful. Yeah. So how is that trying to make it work? But it was impossible to adjust the career which consumed him to the kind of marriage we really both wanted. Well, here we go again, the kind of marriage we really both wanted. But remember, she talks about Elvis like he was just the average human being. This is Elvis Presley, the most famous man on the planet. She talks about their relationship as if he could just stay home and watch TV and sit on the sofa. It wasn't like that. Elvis had to be surrounded by bodyguards. Elvis couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. So he had to live out his life at night so he wouldn't be mobbed. So they were never going to have a normal life. Never. It was Elvis Presley. And she knew what she was getting into when she married him, when she moved in with him. So obvious that she was never going to have a normal life. But then she spends the next 40 years telling the world how she hated it. She was caged and controlled and groomed. You get it, guys? I don't think Elvis wanted to sit at home on the sofa watching TV. You know, he was going to be out performing, making his movies, eventually doing his concerts. So, you know, Priscilla moved in with the most famous man in the world, who was a singer and a movie maker. So I really don't understand what she was expecting. Elvis wasn't going to come home and just sit with her in the lounge on the sofa and watch TV. It was Elvis Presley. So, and she says we both want it. I think Elvis loved his life. Right. I knew if I went on being so confined, so lonely, I'd go crazy. Well, guys, she wasn't confined and lonely. She was seeing other people. Let's face it, guys. We know about Mike Stone. We know about Steve Peck, the dance instructor. So were there others? I knew if I went on being so confined, so lonely, I'd go crazy. Priscilla said that for a while she did her own cooking and housework as the answer to her problem. Is that true, guys? I don't know. Nowadays, I can scarcely wait after I get Lisa, Elvis's daughter, to school in the morning to get out and start living, she went on. Priscilla said she was making a big success of her business. So we know about Biss and Bo, which she eventually sells to her partner. Elvis sent me flowers for our opening. He was driven by at night to see it. Colonel Tom Parker, the promoter behind Elvis Presley, gave me one of his rare interviews. He discussed. Okay, guys, that really is it in the way of Priscilla. I want to just blow it up, make it bigger, and just pick out a few points. But I don't want to read the Colonel Tom Parker section because that isn't our topic today. Our topic is very simple. Priscilla has been very unfair to Elvis. Very, very unfair. He doesn't deserve it. That is our topic. So let me just see if I can blow it up a bit, guys, and just read some of it. So she's obviously May Man. The title is "Marriage to Elvis Was Like Being Caged," says ex-wife Priscilla Presley. I mean, I hate that. I hate that. That is so cruel on Elvis. Could you imagine the damage that title did to Elvis's reputation? I can't see the year, so I'm not sure if this was after or before Elvis passed. You'd think it was after. You'd think it was after. But if you look at this, it does look like 1975. So there's a good chance it wasn't after, which I think that makes it even worse. Does anyone know, was this before or after? Yeah? So let me just go through the bits. So the book, Elvis and the Colonel, she does go on to say that she did interview Priscilla and Colonel Tom Parker. This May Man, I don't know who she is, guys. It mentions the Biss and Bo clothing boutique. It says Elvis would drive past it. I heard that Elvis helped her a lot, financed it, and would send a lot of his people to her to help her make a success of it. Of Biss and Bo. We do have the Biss and Bo book. Yeah. Let me just check your comments. Right, so let me have a look. So, if you look, guys, there's a picture of her with Mike Stone. Priscilla's boyfriend, Mike Stone, with little Lisa Presley. That's just heartbreaking, guys. She's forced to live with a stranger. Obviously, she would have grown to know him, but she's living in a stranger's house. It's just, Lisa had to go through that. Anybody that thinks that Lisa didn't struggle and suffer being forced to live with a stranger, you're in dream world. You're in dream world. So let me just read it a bit more. So she opens her Biss and Bo in Beverly Hills with a champagne party. Come on, guys, Elvis paid for all of that. Yeah. So the truth is, Priscilla did nothing to deserve to have her own business. She married Elvis, which gave her loads of money to do these things. She will say how successful she is and how great she is. None of it would have happened without Elvis. None of it. Even me. The reason I got into business was because at 19 years old, I sold my car with my twin brother. He sold his car. We had some clever ideas and we rented a business. We rented a little business. That's how we got in business. It wasn't handed to us by Elvis. Do you get it, guys? We didn't have bucket loads of money given to us to invest in a clothing boutique. We just had to struggle and work hard and make a go of things. Yeah? This never happened with Priscilla. She didn't go through the process of saving money. You get it? Taking a chance. Because even if it failed, she couldn't lose because Elvis was always going to bail her out. So there was no gamble here. There was no, she didn't take a chance with the business. It was just all on a plate, given to her by Elvis. That's the truth of it, guys. Let's have a look. So in Beverly Hills, it's obviously, I think Priscilla loved the thought of being in Beverly Hills. Yeah, 100%. Because eventually, they open a second salon in Beverly Hills? Is that what happens? Let's have a look. I'm just trying to pick out a few bits of it, guys. Right, here we go. Elvis and I, she told me, will always be good and close friends. Now, I don't agree with that. I do think after they first split up, once Elvis got used to it and they did the first divorce settlement, I think probably they could have been friends. But once she went back for that second divorce settlement, there's no way. There's no way. Because she was going for blood, guys. The second divorce settlement was bloody cruel. Even placing a debt on Graceland. Yeah. She wanted way too much money. Way too much. On the second divorce settlement, remember, she promised that she would never do a second divorce settlement. I know I've said it many times, but guys, she broke her promise on that second divorce settlement. So do I think they were friends? No. I think it was a public thing. So in front of Lisa Marie, yes. In front of the world, yes. Elvis would have wanted everyone to see that they were friends, getting on well, that everything was amicable, just for the sake of Lisa Marie. Do I think they were friends? No, I think they were arguing like cats and dogs. Now, do I think Elvis loved Priscilla as the mother of his daughter, Lisa? Yes, a form of love, but a different kind of love, yeah? So Elvis is just a good guy, isn't it? He's a good guy. He would have always made sure Priscilla and Lisa were okay. She didn't have to go back for the second divorce settlement. Elvis would have always given her plenty of money, always, till the day she died. So she didn't have to literally rip him off with a horrific second divorce settlement, a very, very greedy, cruel divorce settlement, which must have really upset Elvis and Vernon. Must have drove them mad. I would say that they even went through a phase where they thought they were going to lose Gracelands. Seriously. To Priscilla. There's a possibility that Priscilla may have ended up owning Gracelands. That's how bad it was. Just my opinion for entertainment purposes. Not a fact. Just an opinion. Yeah, and it all plays out in front of Lisa Marie. So let's have a look. So then she says, I had to get out and be free and do things. I finally realized that things were never going to change in our way of life. Now remember, she was up to no good. She tries to make it sound like Elvis is up to no good. He's off making movies. If we're talking about the 60s, making movies, the 70s, doing his concert tours. Now, I'm not going to say that Elvis was faithful and loyal. I won't do that because we don't really know what went on. But I will say this. Priscilla wasn't faithful. Priscilla wasn't loyal. If Elvis was doing it, so was Priscilla. But she gives the impression it was just Elvis doing it and that she was fine, that she wasn't doing anything wrong. This is not true. She gives the impression she was this caged animal that was trapped in Graceland. It's bullshit. She had as much freedom as she wanted. Her friends and family would visit. She had her own car. She could do whatever she wanted. She was never a caged animal, never. So that is so far from the truth. Elvis was so good to Priscilla, yeah? So let's just have a little look. I had to live too. So just those words alone, I had to live too. Her words, yeah? What does that mean? She was having an amazing life. Priscilla was having the time of her life all the way through from the moment she moved over at the end of 62, 63 till the day they divorced. She was having the time of her life. She could do anything she wanted, even seeing other men. Yeah? Why is it always blamed on Elvis? So she says, I had to live too. She was living, guys. She was living. To express myself, to have some identity as a person, I felt caged. She had plenty of identity. This is a woman in her 20s. Think about it, guys. This is a woman in her 20s. She had a very busy life, yeah? She had lots of identity. She had lots of ways of expressing herself. Do you get it, guys? And then she says, I felt caged. Can you see how cruel that is? Just the fact that she used those words, I felt caged. How does that make Elvis look? If Elvis was reading this, how would he feel? If Elvis was reading Priscilla talking about how horrible her life was, that she was a prisoner, felt caged, had no life, couldn't express herself. How would Elvis feel reading this? He'd scream his head off. Scream his head off. So it says here, Priscilla had known during those 6 years of marriage. Well, they actually weren't married for 6 years. If you really break it down properly, guys. So Elvis marries her in May the 1st, 1967. Okay? She's pregnant straight away. 9 months later, she has a baby. Within months of Lisa Marie being born, she's unfaithful. Priscilla's unfaithful. Yeah? So you think about it. She demanded a divorce in 1972. She was secretly seeing Mike Stone for a year through 1971. So there was no relationship in 1971. There was no relationship. By 72, she wants the divorce. Okay, it's official at 73. So you think about the marriage. So here it says 6 years of marriage, but you work it out. So that if they married May the 1st, 1967, I believe Elvis was faithful through the pregnancy of Lisa Marie. So you work it out, 68, 69. So by 1970, their relationship is over. Their marriage is over. So they had 2-ish years of marriage. 2-ish. Within those 2-ish years, say if we say 2 to 3 years, within those 2-ish years, in the first year, she's been unfaithful with the dance instructor, which she's admitted in her book. So she's admitted in her book, Elvis and Me. All right, have the dumps.
Tummy's not been right still all day yesterday.
Yeah, sorry, my wife's here. Don't worry, guys. They know you had a bit of food poisoning. She had a bit of food poisoning, and the tummy's still a bit queasy, a bit like her brain. Right, bye. So anyway, as I was saying, so you get my point, guys. Yeah, they say 6 years of marriage. Yeah, but really it was 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Do you get that though, guys? What I'm saying about that? She really, when you see her getting interviewed, you really do. She really likes to get. Oh yeah, we were married for 6 years. The reason they say 6 years is because they married May the 1st, 67. They divorced. I'm not sure what month it was. I've forgotten. In 73. So that's where you get the 6 years of marriage. But there wasn't 6 years of marriage. There was not 6 years of marriage. So yeah, she just got a bit of a queasy tummy today. She definitely had a bit of food poisoning. But thank you, Julie's. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, there we are. So we've got Debbie has a comment. Come on, guys. The one thing Priscilla was not is caged. The one thing she was not is caged because she had so much freedom to do different classes and lessons and dancing and whatever else she did. I heard she had quite a few different things she was doing. She had her own car to go wherever she wanted. Her brother could come, her sister could come, her mum and dad could come, her friends. She had the wives of the Memphis Mafia. She was a busy lady. The one thing Priscilla was not is caged. She was not caged or suffocated. She did have a life. Remember her life. Husband, wife, child. That's it. That's all you need. If you want to have a life, I'm talking about the age that she was. So she's in her 20s. Elvis is in his 30s. Husband, wife, child, home. There's your life. There's your life. She talks about herself as if she had no life. It's such bullshit. Could you imagine how beautiful the home is that they lived in? Because I think they lived in different homes. She had an amazing life. Now, yes, her life changed once she moved out and ran off with Mike Stone, the karate champion. She had a completely new life. And we know there were some pretty horrible things that happened concerning Michael Edwards and Lisa with her new boyfriend. She had other boyfriends as well. She had business as well. But my point is this. She had an amazing life when she was married to Elvis. She had it all. She had it all. You name it, she had it, including freedom. She was not groomed or controlled. It's all bullshit. Don't believe it. She had a bloody great life. And in fact, the freedom that she had is probably why she ended up seeing people like Steve Peck, the dance instructor. She clearly admits in her book she couldn't stop thinking about Steve Peck when Lisa Marie was months old. Lisa Marie was a matter of months old. And all she could think about was bonking, sleeping with Steve Peck. Even when she was sat at home holding Lisa Marie in their lovely home that Elvis would have beautifully decorated, she could do anything she wanted, and all she could think about was bonking Steve Peck. And then she does it all again 18 months later, a secret relationship with Mike Stone for a year with the karate guy. You get it, guys? So, but if anything, the fact that Elvis, how can I word this? She got so much freedom that she could go out and shag people. Yeah? And do whatever she wanted. So it's not fair to say that she was controlled and groomed and all that bollocks. And he told her how to do her hair, makeup, how to walk, how to act, how to think, how to talk. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. In my opinion, for entertainment purposes. This whole show is a discussion for entertainment purposes only. But you getting what I'm saying, guys? The public are falling for the bullshit. I will never get it. Let me just get the book. The public fall for the crap. This is crap. This is a rewriting of history, a reinvention of the truth. I know I keep repeating it, guys. This is so far from the truth. It's ridiculous. A fake book, fake Elvis book. Priscilla is a fake Elvis fan. I know I've been using that word a lot, haven't I? Priscilla is a fake Elvis fan. This is bullshit. This is a nice story to tell the press, to make her look like a victim and Elvis look like the bad guy, when Elvis was so good. I won't whitewash Elvis. He made mistakes as well. He was unfaithful as well. Okay? Right. It's very obvious that there was a time when Priscilla started to reinvent the truth, to rewrite history, to portray herself in a completely unfair, fake reality. And the public around the world fell for it through all the interviews. You've got many, many interviews, guys, through the books, obviously the Elvis and Me book, and many other things. It was all about trying to make the public feel sorry for Priscilla. And the women, no offense to women, but the women in the 70s and 80s, I think, were tricked, felt sorry for her. There's many Priscilla fans that felt sorry for Priscilla, but then as the years go on, realize that they have been duped tricked, lied to, conned through books like Elvis and Me. Yeah. People eventually started to see that Priscilla was up to no good. Priscilla had done many bad things secretly behind Elvis's back. Do you get it, guys? So now I like to think that the Elvis fans are wise. The Elvis fans are quite wise. They're starting to twig on to the fact that Priscilla has spun a web. Yeah? Fake Elvis news. People are starting to twig on now. But there are still hundreds of thousands of people that believe the fake news, that believe the trash about Elvis. And it all stems from people like Priscilla, some family members, yeah, the Memphis Mafia, all of these unfair stories about Elvis that have been twisted from their point of view to fit their perspective on things, to fit their version of the truth. Because it may be their truth, but it doesn't make it the truth. This is why Elvis is being damaged as we speak every second of the day by fake Elvis news. Yeah? So you get my point, don't you, guys? Yeah, so there we are. Pat says, I was one of them that was tricked and believed all the bullshit. So was I. We all were. I think most of us fell for the iconic romance of Elvis and Priscilla, you know, especially, you know, growing up in the 70s and 80s. We all fell for it. Even I fell for it. Many of you fell for it. But we are all removing our blinkers now, aren't we? We're removing our blinkers. And we have, you know, the Elvis fans have known for decades. There are many Elvis fans that have wised up to the truth 20, 30 years ago. But it's only now that we have internet that we can all come together and defend Elvis, isn't it? It's now that we can go, no. And we're starting to find these old interviews, these old newspaper clips like Nessa. This newspaper clip is from Nessa on his Facebook page. He's digging out these old clips. I keep saying he. She is finding these clips and posting them on her Facebook. I've been putting them on my Facebook. These are the kinds of things that expose the wrongdoing to Elvis, that expose Priscilla, the fake news, yeah? The Elvis defenders that are around the world, which are mainly Elvis fans, by the way. Elvis fans are Elvis defenders. Yeah, so when I see people like Ginger Alden defending Elvis, I love it. Even Billy Stanley, he defends Elvis. He does, yeah? So I love it. When I find new Elvis defenders, I like it. Especially if they're well known, so because they have a bigger reach, haven't they? So yeah, that's a good point. Karen says Elvis never trashed Priscilla in public. That just says it all about Elvis the human being. Right, I'm just going to quickly flick through some of your comments, guys. So on part 2, I wanted to discuss Rhonda's show. Let's have a look. Yeah, Julie says it. Priscilla tried to establish herself as a victim when the reality was it was Elvis who was the victim. It's true. Lamar was one of the ones that helped her. This is Hillbilly Cat. Hi, Matthew. At the end, he was on the advanced team and rarely saw Elvis. You know what I think about Lamar and Marty Lacker. Both of them said the most disgusting things. Now, I don't really want to talk about the Smiths today, and I'll tell you why, because I did enough yesterday. Yeah, I don't want people to get things wrong with me. I don't have it in for the Smiths. I support EFM. I support Memphis Mafia Kid. So I don't really want to talk about the Smiths. I think everything I wanted to say about the Smiths, I said it yesterday. So you're not going to hear me keep talking about the Smiths because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I do support the Smiths. I love the Smiths. I love watching their channel. Elvis Fans Matter is a great channel, and so is Memphis Mafia Kid. So I won't be talking about them that often. Every now and then we'll bring it up, but not very often, guys. Right, so let's just quickly check if there's any more points. So I mentioned about there was not 6 years of marriage if you really break it down and understand it properly. Then she sort of says, oh, look, we just suddenly found ourselves married. It's just bullshit. Just bullshit. She massively wanted to marry Elvis. It wasn't a suddenly thing. The person who suddenly found themselves married was Elvis. I feel, just an opinion, Elvis was forced to get married. He didn't want to get married. I don't think Elvis was ready to get married. He felt he had to. He wanted to do the right thing. He had pressure from the Colonel, from Priscilla's parents, maybe even from Vernon. Elvis was not ready to get married. Not ready. Priscilla, I think, couldn't wait to get married. That's just my opinion, guys. So, let's have a look. I think Matthew mentions Biss and Bo. I'll be honest with you, Matthew. I think any money she needed, she got from Elvis. I know that Biss and Bo was successful, but come on, how much can a clothing boutique make? It wouldn't have made much, mate. It was all funded by Elvis. The sort of money that Priscilla was spending, she wasn't going to make from a silly little clothing boutique. Yeah, as Karen says, Elvis was railroaded into a marriage. Let's have a look. So I think that's it. So I turned down movie offers. Even that, I turned down movie offers. She was never going to get movie offers unless she was Elvis's wife. That's it, or Elvis's ex-wife. So she talks about it almost as if she was talented, and that the reason the movie people wanted her in her movies was because of her talent. Nah, it was because you were Elvis's wife or ex-wife. That's the only reason you had movie offers. And then she says, I wouldn't want to ever live my life like he does. I'd want to do what I want to do and have freedom. She has lived her life. She completely contradicts herself. She has lived her life like Elvis. She's still doing it now at 80 years old. I don't care what anyone says. Priscilla massively craved fame, attention. Fame, attention, money, men. Men was a big thing here, guys. Priscilla loved her men. Fame, money, men, sex, cars, homes, Hollywood. You get it, guys? Beverly Hills. That is the life Priscilla wanted. It's so obvious. Priscilla loves money. And the second divorce settlement really shows that. The amount of money that Priscilla demanded on the second divorce settlement was unbelievable. She really did get her pound of flesh. She really went for blood with the second divorce settlement. So, hi Chris. Elvis refrained from talking bad about anyone. If there are remarks that are personal that people are choosing to repeat, then nothing he said publicly. I agree. I agree. That's well said, Chris. Very true. So if you haven't seen Riley's recent video, she is claiming her role as head of Presleys and what her goals are for the future. When was it, Chris? When was this? I haven't seen that. When did this come out, Chris? Please let me know. Yeah, she loves, come on, Jen, you're right. She loves attention. She loves attention. So she loves fame. She loves her, she just, come on, guys. So, right, we're done on this part one. It's on Riley's YouTube channel. Oh, thing is, there's so many. So, guys, it was a couple of days ago. All right, I haven't seen it. I'll find it, but we'll do a separate live for that. So, guys, I'm just gonna have a quick break, and then I was gonna come back and review Rhonda's Bridget Cruz, Priscilla Presley lawsuit video. So I gotta go. Oh, brilliant. I look forward to that, Chris. Thank you for letting us know. I need a 15-minute break, and then I'm hoping to come back to do Presley Mania's to review and critique Presley Mania's video, Rhonda. Obviously, I watched it last night. It's a great video. It really goes into detail, the latest with the Bridget Cruz v. Priscilla lawsuit. It doesn't seem to be going well for Bridget Cruz from what I watched on Rhonda's show. So I think we should go through it. Okay, guys, I've got to go, and I will be back soon. Thank you for joining me. Thanks everyone for your comments. And we carry on defending. The whole show is just an opinions for entertainment purposes, not a fact. Just a discussion.